Welcome to the world this week. Pakistan's elections have only hit the headlines in Britain because one of the party leaders, Ibrar Khan, fell from a platform at an election rally. Khan is recovering and his party is having a good showing in the polls. But there's actually a lot more to this, and in a country which has suffered a massive instability in the wake of the collapse of General Musharraf's authoritarian rule in 2008. The war in Afghanistan has spilled over into Pakistan and its political effects are still being felt. John Kerry, the US Secretary of State, declined to visit Pakistan recently out of respect, he said, for the country's electoral process. Possibly he wanted to minimise the US's continued disastrous involvement in Pakistan's domestic politics. Let's take a look at this report.
Some might see this as a nation reaching democratic maturity. When Pakistanis go to the polls to vote on the 11th of May, it will be the first time a democratically elected civilian government has completed a full term in office. Of the numerous political parties taking part in the elections, the three main contenders are the ruling Pakistan People's Party, the Pakistan Muslim League, and former cricketer Ibrar Khan's Pakistan Movement for Justice. All three have pledged to bring stability and prosperity to Pakistan if elected. That might be easier said than done, in a country fraught with corruption and violence. Just today, Ali Haider Gilani, an independent candidate and son of former Prime Minister Yusuf Raza Gilani, was abducted following gunfire at a campaign rally. Although no official statement has been released, it is strongly suspected by the PPP, of which Gilani was also a member, that the Taliban are behind the attack.
अगर आज रात तक हमारा भाई हैदर गिलानी अगर हमें नहीं मिलता तो मैं अपने इलाके में तो इलेक्शन नहीं होने दूंगा। एक सेकंड, मैं अपने इलाके में इलेक्शन नहीं होने दूंगा। मेरा भाई नहीं है, मैं पोलिंग स्टेशंस पोलिंग बैग तो नहीं बांट सकता।
Just last week, Chaudhry Zulfikar Ali, the lead prosecutor in the murder of former Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto, was shot dead in Islamabad. The secular Awami National Party have been forced to keep a low profile after death threats and attacks from the Taliban, and some have suggested that a campaign of intimidation is being waged to force people to vote for right-wing parties more sympathetic to Islamist tendencies. The US-led war on terror has been another key issue for Pakistanis. The withdrawal from the war on terror has been a cornerstone of Ibrar Khan's campaign, condemning American drone attacks on the Taliban-dominated region of Waziristan and stressing the need for Pakistan to maintain its own internal security. Now, the leader of the Pakistan Muslim League-Nawaz Sharif, the man strongly tipped to be Pakistan's next Prime Minister, has also said, in an interview with the BBC, that he would end the country's involvement in the war on terror if he were elected. 46% of the country's population is between 18 and 29, and many of them are sick of what they see as the domination of Pakistani politics by a self-interested and corrupt political class. Support for Maverick Ibrar Khan's PTI is drawn primarily from their ranks, and their participation could be crucial in building a brave new Pakistan. When the polls open on the 11th of May, the world will watch to see Pakistanis determine their own fate and try to consign an age of corruption, intimidation and dictatorship to the annals of history. Alex MacDonald, Islam Channel.
Well, I'm pleased to welcome to the studio representatives of the three main parties running in the election. Ibrar Mir, Deputy General Secretary of the Pakistan People's Party in the UK. Shahbaz Khan, President of Tehreek-e-Insaf in London. And Chaudhry Ansar Mahmood, President of the legal wing of the Pakistan Muslim League-Nawaz, also in London. Welcome to the programme, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Chaudhry, what do you make of the sort of long shadow that the rule of President Musharraf has had over Pakistani politics? Is this election eventually got to a post-Musharraf point?
Thanks, John, for calling us today to address our point of view regarding the election. First of all, I will say that this is the first time that in Pakistan history that the democratic process is going on. And after the long dictatorship of the Musharraf in 5 years back, there was a government of the Pakistan People's Party. And we can say in some extent that there was some legacy, some people who was the part of that government. And now in this process, everything will be the new, like our party, Mir Muhammad Nawaz Sharif, in the past election, there was only 2 weeks time when they been to Pakistan and they participate in that election. So we could not get that of majority, which we should. And in this election, we have got the good time to participate in the election, to get all the campaign in the election, and we hope that Mia Mohammed Nawaz Sharif, along with all his other the team and along with all his abilities, we will try to maintain and to continue the democracy in our country. And the main manifesto in our country is to, like in over last is two time the period of the government, we have done in a lot, like motorway to bring the country as a atomic power, and that's the same we are looking in a future government, and hopefully inshallah the Mia Nawaz Sharif will be in the position to form the government.
Shahbaz, do you think that Pakistan is eventually past that period? Because I mean, perhaps more than anybody else, it was Musharraf that kind of bought popularity with the United States because of his commitment to the war on terror. That's been a massively destabilising thing. Is Pakistan past that?
Absolutely, John. Thank you very much for today. The reason why I'm saying that we have come out of that phase is because for the first time in the history of Pakistan, a truly democratic elected government have been given the opportunity to rule for 5 years, and the transition of authority and responsibility to the civilian government has taken place during the last 5 years, and the transition from a civilian government to the next civilian government is a great achievement for Pakistan overall. And Musharraf has become irrelevant because now it was the opportunity for civilian government to show what they can do for the public of Pakistan.
Ibrar, what do you make of this?
We haven't come out. Thanks very much, John, for having us here. Basically, we should go back in Zia's regime as well. We haven't even come out from that thing. Zia's mentality is there in every department, good or bad. Few, it's a different debate, but they are there. Now, Musharraf, he gave us another slogan, liberalization. As you mentioned, that he was a very favorite to America, but he ditched them. He was giving something else to them, but he was showing something. He was promoting these Talibans and terrorists under the carpet, right? But to get money or to get support for his government to linger on, he was deceiving our country, America, even terrorists. So he could not get hold of those things what we are facing now. And I was here last month as well. I mentioned as a worker of PPP, I mentioned that thing that the mines have been put everywhere in Pakistan. So these will be blown slowly. No, terrorists are using their plan A, B, C, or D. As you have witnessed that ex-Prime Minister's son, he has been kidnapped, but will still go for the elections. Government was different, party is different. Government was coalition. ANP, PPP, MQM, they are contesting elections separately, even Q League as well. We are opponents at some stage, somewhere seat adjustment, but as a party, as a government, they were supposed to give us an election, which they are giving. So, alhamdulillah, we have come. We have come to that point where we can say it's a turning point for our Pakistan's democracy. If it goes successfully, it means that gradually we'll be facing some sort of positive revolution in our society.
Okay, Shahbaz, you said that you think the Musharraf era is over, but clearly the effects of that engagement with Afghanistan and the war in Afghanistan, clearly that is currently affecting Pakistan to some considerable degree. How do you assess that impact on the elections?
Just going back slightly, as Ibrar mentioned, that there are still, we can see the effects of a Musharraf regime who ruled for over 9 years in Pakistan. But the trouble is the failure of the civilian government has to do a lot with the current situation. They were given the opportunity to perform for 5 years, and they did no different than what Musharraf did. So you cannot expect different results from keep doing the same thing over and over again. If they were to change a strategy and follow a different policy, you can expect different results. But unfortunately, civilian government, they had a great opportunity to change the fate of the country, but unfortunately they continued with the same policy. And today, for unfortunate incident of kidnapping of a former Prime Minister's son has taken place, and a lot of target killing is taking place. So the failure of the civilian government has made people of Pakistan to lose faith in democracy, which is a sad thing. But at the same time, you're pleased that at least there is a transition taking place, and the people of Pakistan have been given another chance to exercise their democratic right, probably to change the system, to bring in new people in place, those who probably can do different things than what People's Party and their coalition partners have been doing over the past 5 years.
Chaudhry, the impact of the war in Afghanistan on politics. We saw in the report at the head of the programme that there's an argument that the Taliban is having an impact on the electoral process. Do you agree with that?
I think because if we consider today's incident, a current incident of the former Prime Minister's son's kidnapping, and that is the fact that they have the involvement they will also involve in the electoral process in Pakistan, and that is I think we have for the next government that has the main challenges. There are main 2-3 challenges. If the terrorism is the main number one, and the second is the energy crisis, and the third is to establish the financial position of the country. And the first one, the terrorism, that is the main challenge for our country, and that is the main challenge for the next government. And I think we have to take some bold step to eradicate these things from our country, even to make some good policies with our neighbor countries in Afghanistan to secure our borders and to secure our country from the terrorists. And these are the main challenges for the next government. I think the Mian Sahib have that ability, and they will be successful to raise these things to establish that we can cope with the terrorism.
Let me just add one more thing to what PMLN has to say, to offer to resolve these. He's rightly saying that we are facing these crises and issues with the country, but what is the solution? Their policy on the solution towards these issues or the problems is not very much clear. They look to do this pretty much similar thing all over again before they can offer a solution to these problems. So I can't really see very much different between the policies what PPP has pursued and what they are proposing to do if elected to the government, the Prime Minister office.
Okay, John, I'll give you a very simple and very known fact, and it's a comparison between democratic government and a dictatorial regime. As Shahbaz mentioned that democracy was failed. I totally deny. It was democracy that took, a stand for Malakand division. More than 2.5 people, IDPs, they were taken out. They were put back with peacefully. Now cultural shows are going on there, musical, everything, tourism is going on there. Now, if you talk about Musharraf dictatorial regime, he was upset. Like he said to Bukti, Balochistan ex-prime minister, he said, "I'll hit you from where you would know." That's how he was treating people. He was having a big stigmas in Lal Masjid, right? Then he didn't give security to our Shahid Benazir Bhutto. Lots of things, he was dealing with so much power. But what we do, democratic people, they ask for dialogue. First, if they want to have a dialogue with terrorists or Taliban, whatever you can call them, first, even our General Pervez Kayani, he said that they'll have to be disarmament first, right? And then we can talk. In Malakand, the same position happened. Sufi Muhammad, he was saying, okay, we need to talk. The local government, the provincial government, they started talking. America was annoyed. We said no. The federal government, President Asif Ali Zardari said, no, this is our internal matter. Let them deal. When Sufi Muhammad took undue advantage of that, when he said, I don't accept the Constitution of Pakistan, I don't accept the Supreme Court of Pakistan, then the provincial government by then, They said, no, we can't deal with them by argument. No, the army or federal government will have to take action. We took action, and result is there. So, I mean, democracy is different. Before, if you remember, John, 2 senators used to come from America, dictate Musharraf, take yes or no, go back. When they started coming during our regime, Asif al-Zardari, the president, because he was having presidential powers. No, he is powerless. Then he used to say, okay, this is my coalition partner. This party is my stakeholder. Go to ANP, go to Noon League, go to MQM, go to Kaf League, go to Fatah people. So that is called democracy. He didn't take any dictatorial decisions. So we try to take everybody on board because we are based on reconciliation policy.
Okay, so I just want to move the conversation on there because we've talked a lot about the impact of international affairs on it, but it's a very young electorate. Do you think in their minds these issues that we've discussed so far are uppermost, or is it more a question of the poverty, the corruption in the system? Is that what's going to be in their mind when they vote?
I think for the first time in Pakistan's history, youth is politically mobilized, and they are taking very much interest in each policy, every party. I think the credit goes to Pakistan Movement for Justice for doing this, because we have presented, which never happened in the history of Pakistan, to present policies on each issue Pakistan is facing currently, and Pakistan Muslim League-Nawaz and other parties had followed the pursuit. And for that reason, the awareness the media has created, social media has created, and the political parties such as Pakistan Movement for Justice has created, for that reason, youth is very much aware of it, and they would like to see change in policies altogether, whether it's to do with terrorism, whether it's to do with defense, whether it's to do with economy, whether it's to do with education. They're very much into it, and they're keeping a very close eye on it. And you will see the results in 11th May elections, where people will vote on the basis of the policies.
So, do you think this is true, that this is going to be an election where the sort of the impact of young voters is going to be felt? I mean, maybe partly because, as Shahbaz says, they've been engaged, or maybe partly there's an international effect, say from the Arab Spring, that we've noticed in other countries.
Yeah, this is, I think, first time as Shahbaz mentioned, that this is the first time in the history of Pakistan the youth is coming out and they are voting. There are 2 factors. One is they have the awareness due to the media, social media, and the electronic and printed media. And the second is, this is the first time when somebody is age of 18 and he go to make his ID card in Pakistan, and his vote is automatically will be registered. So that's the main thing. I don't think so that any party should take the more initiative that we have registered these votes. This is the automatic. This is the first time in history of Pakistan.
So you're saying it's going to be a more secure election?
More secure election, because once you have that your Nadra card, and when you get your ID card, your vote will be automatically registered. For that reason, now they have the system. You can check your polling station and the location on your mobile phone is only on the text messages. So that is the first time, and I think that is a very good achievement in third world countries like Pakistan countries. That's big achievement you can have, and you should know, and you can get that your location, vote, and everything on your mobile phone. So this is very, very good thing which has been done by the recent governments. And the second is, I think that the democracy is the best form of government. Even that's for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years. That is the process. And we are the Pakistan made only 64, 65 years, and that's the process of democracy. That is the more and much better than the dictatorship. And I think that's good. In the history of Pakistan, we are going to see this is the first election that has been the people or everybody want to come out and to poll the election. And this is the first time. And I think that's a very good sign for the big change in our country, and we are expecting the good change.
Ibrar, do you agree with that? Do you think that it is going to be a more secure election and that will increase turnout or increase engagement?
To some extent, but I've got some concerns as well, because it's only Pakistan People's Party. When it was founded, Shahid Bhutto, he was very much in connection with the youth, even though by then it was 21 years age for the voting. And you imagine if it was 18, then how popular was he? But the thing is, he founded the party against a national issue. These parties were founded against each other, right? So PTI is saying we are here because Noon is not doing this, PPP is not doing this. So they are, you know, founded because of the parties. No, I'm talking about youth. Our youth is politically not aware properly. When we ask them, do you know this thing? They said, no, we only know Nawaz Sharif, we only know Imran Khan. Okay, but if you talk about Pakistan People's Party's young generation, even though they are not educated, but they have got political mind. They would tell you from which legacy, who is coming. They will tell you who's got the right. They'll tell you women was empowered during PPP era. They will tell you that these two parties, youth is bit lost. They are aggressive. Yesterday they had a fight in Lahore, and almost, you know, they were about to kill somebody. So I'm afraid on election day, PTI and PMLN, they might have some fights or something. But we are very much, I mean, reasonable, democratic, liberal, and we've got so much tolerance. We can face any sort of criticism as well.
So do you think that the election will be more secure, or do you think these fears are real?
I think the fears are real. It's going to be a bit difficult, but we do not want to stop the process from going further. But I do beg to disagree with Ibrar. The youth is very much aware of it. Youth has never been so involved in Pakistani elections before, and they are very much informed. I do beg to disagree on that. People are very much interested to know exactly what policies each party is proposing for the issues faced to Pakistan. The problem with the People's Party, I think, overall, it has become a regional party where it has a different electoral college which do not, unfortunately, have access to information, and the credit goes to the government of People's Party, those who haven't actually facilitated or equipped the people with the right information to make informed decisions. And unfortunately, that goes in their favour, keeping people unaware of the issues of the Pakistan country. And do
you think the social media has broken that down to a degree?
Absolutely. I think it has made a lot of difference in terms of keeping people informed, and people are well connected to each other, and you'll see a huge turnout on 11th of May.
Even John, the private media is very much independent. We took off that black laws of Pembra. Even we made press commission. They are very happy. Nobody is complaining from any sort of media that PPP government has disturbed it. Nobody's. I mean, so the thing is, PPP. This, as Chaudhry Ansar was mentioning, 18 years old. Which government did it? Through their help. I mean, they were on board through 18th Amendment. We try to, give powers as much as to provinces, to women, to children, even, people, they don't know what is JJS, Juvenile Justice System.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to stop the conversation there because we've run out of time. But in just a couple of days' time, you'll be able to see which of our panellists gave you the most accurate guide to the Pakistani elections. And we'll be returning to the subject, I'm sure, in future editions. But do come back for the second part of The World This Week.